see it. Roll it.
Oh.
Hold it.
Mulligan.
Mulligan. Mark Twain proclaimed, golf is a good walk, ruined. To that I say, Mark, quit. You should have quit keeping score. Or perhaps hired a caddy. Now, a good caddy is like a great mentor. They do more than just carry the bag. And to prove that, last night I Googled traits of a good caddy. And amazingly, this is what came up. Confidence, dependable, organized, prepared, understands the game, understands their player, good communicator, servant, competitive, motivating, encouraging, steady, calm. 100 years ago, late summer of 1913, a different time, golf was an elitist sport. There was just working class and the elite at that time. In a little hamlet outside of Boston, Brookline, Massachusetts, the country club was hosting the U.S. Open. The Brits had dominated golf at that time. They dominated it so much that when their two best players said, we can't play at that time, you'll have to move it, the U.S. meekly acquiesced, reset the time for these two arrogant Brits. It was at that point that the U.S. entered a couple of players. One of them was part of this story. But it was also the story about a 10-year-old kid, a squatty little caddy from the country club, who had the guts, the chutzpah, the cojones to step up and say, I can caddy for you, Mr. Ouimet. I can do it. I can do it. Now, Francis Ouimet was a kid himself, a lanky 20-year-old amateur who had inexplicably been chosen to play in the U.S. Open. And of course, an Open is about amateurs, professionals. Come on, bring it on. Francis had grown up on the wrong side of the street across from the country club. He had dreamed of playing at the country club, but he wasn't allowed in, only as a caddy. He was working class. Francis had won some amateur championships. Francis was picked by one of the club members to be in the Open. And Eddie Lowry stepped up when Francis was looking for a caddy, stepped up and had the guts to press his issue. I want to be your caddy. There are so many side stories to this great, enlightening, encouraging story. But the real story is that these two, the squatty little 10-year-old and the tall, lanky amateur, dressed alike, became lifelong friends, and walked the course with two of the titans, the Tiger Woods and the Phil Mickelson of their era. These two Brits who dominated. In fact, one of them still holds the most British Opens title, won the most British Opens to this day. These were giants. These were two Goliaths, and a David walked on with a caddy. And without that caddy, he would have been stuck. Because the caddy, Eddie Lowry, exhibited all of these traits that I just said to you. In the middle of the game, the weather turned foul. The last day, it was the worst weather. And of course, Eddie was encouraging Francis the whole way. Francis had snuck onto the course so many times in foul weather, because that's when the elite went to the clubhouse. The weather's bad. Francis jumps on the course, he plays. And on the last hole, it was a 17-footer in a driving rain. Eddie handed him the ball, and he said, "See it, roll it, hold it." He did hold it. And he forced a playoff with those two Goliaths. And he ultimately won and became famous. And Eddie Lowry went on to become a millionaire businessman. See it. Create it. Visualize it. Roll it. Step up. Take a deep breath. Speak.
Yes.
Hold it. Win a prize. Thank you.